Hello, this is Laurel again, here with the Performing Arts Academy to bring you these videos about music theory. This is the third video for Level 1, and you can find links to the others in the description. In this video, we're going to be covering sharps and flats, the order of sharps and flats, and key signatures. So let's dive right in. If you'll remember, in our last video, we talked about half steps, and we said half steps are when we go from one note to the note right next to it with nothing in between. If we think about our keyboard, that'll be when we go from a white key to the white key right next to it, if there's not a black key in between, or when we go from a white key to the black key right next to it, or when we go from a black key to a white key right next to it. This is going to be important to remember as we start thinking about sharps and flats. So what are sharps and flats? A sharp symbol looks like this, and you'll see it in music right next to a note. The sharp symbol means to go up a half step from that note. So for example, say we have F with a sharp symbol. We call that F sharp, and it means to play the black key right above F, so it's the one in between F and G. A flat symbol looks like this, and it works the same way as a sharp, except that instead of going up a half step from the note, you go down a half step. So for example, if we have B with a flat symbol, we call that B flat, and it tells us to play the black key right below B, so the one in between B and A. So again, a sharp tells us to go up a half step, and a flat tells us to go down a half step. This brings us to something called key signatures. The key signature is a collection of sharps and flats that you'll see at the beginning of each line of music, like this. The key signature tells us what key we're in. Or in other words, it tells us how many sharps or flats are sort of built into the piece of music that we're playing. So for example, if we're in the key of G major, we're pretty much going to be playing all white keys, except that we'll be playing F sharp instead of F. So if a composer wants to indicate that we're in G major, they'll give us a key signature with one sharp. That'll be F sharp. So you might be wondering, well, how do I know what key I'm in just based on the key signature? That's a great question. We actually have a couple of tricks to help us figure out what key we're in. If we have a key signature with sharps in it, all we have to do is look at the last sharp in the key signature and then go up a half step from there, and that's going to be the key that we're in. So in this example, the last sharp that we have is F sharp. If we go up a half step from F sharp, we get G, so that tells us that we're in the key of G. Say we had two sharps, like this. Now the last sharp in the key signature is C sharp, and if we go up from there, we'll land on D. So that tells us that two sharps gives us the key of D. So how do I know that a key signature with two sharps will necessarily include F sharp and C sharp? Well, I know because the sharps in a key signature always appear in the same order. We call this the order of sharps, and it goes F, C, G, D, A, E, B. So as we add sharps to a key signature, we always add them in that order. A good way to help us remember this order is to think of the phrase, fat cats go down alleys eating bologna. Fat cats go down alleys eating bologna. That'll help you remember F, C, G, D, A, E, B. So what about flats? We have a different trick for finding the key when we have a key signature with flats in it. For a flat key signature, we just look at the second to last flat in the key signature, and that will tell us what key we're in. So for example, if I have a key signature with two flats, and they're B flat and E flat, I'll just look at the second to last flat and see that it's B flat, and that will tell me that I'm in the key of B flat. If we have three flats, we can look and see that the second to last flat in this key signature is E flat, so that'll tell us that we're in the key of E flat. So what if there's only one flat? Then this trick isn't quite as helpful, but one flat puts you in the key of F, and that's one that you'll just have to remember, but it's a pretty common one, so I think you'll get it pretty quickly. Now, just like sharps, flats always appear in the same order in key signatures, and that order is B, E, A, D, G, C, F. You'll notice that it's actually exactly the opposite of the order of sharps. But another way to help remember the order of flats is to think of the word bead, because it's spelled B-E-A-D, and then to think gold-covered floors. Bead, gold-covered floors. That'll help you remember B-E-A-D, G-C-F. So again, Sharps tell us to go up a half step from the note that we're given. In sharp key signatures, we find the key by going up a half step from the last sharp. The order of sharps is F, C, G, D, A, E, B, which we can remember with what? Fat cats go down alleys eating bologna. Flats, on the other hand, tell us to go down a half step. In flat key signatures, we find the key by looking at the second to last flat in the key signature. And the order of flats is B, E, A, D, G, C, F, which we can remember with bead, gold-covered floors. So, now you know about sharps and flats and key signatures. You can check out the next video to learn about time signatures. So, I'll see you next time.